Hello. Hello, annyeonghaseyo. Ryan Walters here at Seoul World Cup Stadium, where we always are, gentlemen. I'm joined by the whole crew today. We've got Matthew Binns, we've got Paul Neat, we've got Scott Whitelock. We're here in matching shirts today.
What a coincidence this is.
Yeah, we really should have talked to each other about this beforehand. But gentlemen, we are here for Team K-League versus Juventus. Paul, you're sitting next to me, so I'll start with you. How are you feeling coming into today?
Quite nervous. I don't know why, though. I just want to see the K-League boys hold their own against some of the world's best. And, you know, it's a chance for the K-League to show that we have talented players here. I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
But I just want them to enjoy the occasion, but also put their best foot forward.
Yeah, and Scott, I'll just start out with this right away. I mentioned it to you already, but I have to give props to Suwon. I've seen more Suwon kits than any other K-League team today. Did you just get people out here in droves for this?
Yeah. We're all here to see Adam Taggart, aren't we? So,
right.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good to see a lot of different K-League shirts on show. We've seen a lot of John Am fans, surprisingly.
We have.
We've seen a lot of Seoul. We've seen a broad range of K-League shirts. So
Gangwon, Daegu.
Incheon.
Yeah. The team kit that we've seen the most of, however, Matthew, is Juventus.
Yeah.
That's who people are here to see today. And there's actually, over to my left, your right, I believe, there's a Juve Tifo set up. And there's not much for K-League today, but much like Scott, you have some players represented from your team today. Jumbuk are here. How are you feeling about their... Let's just get into this, because some people were thinking that this was a bit of a punishment match in some ways. How are you feeling about having Jumbuk players today?
I mean, I joked when there was few Jumbuk players in there, because there's always the risk of injury. You're kind of thinking, I don't want my players injured, I want somebody else, you know, I'd want somebody else in the title race. That's the fan in me speaking. But now I'm here, now it's happening, and I've seen all the people outside queuing to get in. I kind of wish it'd be quite nice if Lopez was here as well, to be honest.
I think he deserves to be. Lopez, he's a fantastic player. He deserves to be in this team, surely.
I think if it, and we had a comment in from Sushi Football who was who asked about this himself. He was saying about, is it to do with popularity? Well, I mean, it was a fan vote, and so there is a degree of popularity to it. But Park Soo-young, Lee Dong-guk in, that is mostly popular vote. Lopez was in the same category, and if one of those hadn't made it, Lopez would have been in this team.
Yeah. Which might have been a little bit better to have him bombing down the wing. But to just go over this, Paul, who's got the lineup up? Matt's got the lineup up, so I'll go back to Matt here. We don't have the starting 11 yet, just because we wanted to get on early enough while we still have a signal. It's because this stadium's going to be full today.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be fun. And a lot of those folks are going to have cell phones, so we're coming to you super early today, mainly to introduce the K-League team to some folks that might not know about them. So the starting 11, as voted, Matt.
Okay, so the fan 11 is Cho Hyun-woo from Daegu FC in goal. Goal. On the left, Park Ju-ho from Ulsan Hyundai. In the centre of defence, Osmar from FC Seoul, and Dave Bultis was originally chosen from Ulsan Hyundai. I do believe he has been replaced by Yoon Young-sun, his teammate. Lee-yong from Jeonbuk completes the defence on the right. In the midfield, it is a 4-3-3, so the three in midfield, we have Sasina from Daegu, the K-League's David Silva, that is. Kim Bo-kyung, Ulsan Hyundai, and Mix Diskerud, Ulsan Hyundai, recently extending his loan and staying with us until the end of the season. Thank you, Man City. Up top, we have Park Ju-young, playing in front of his home stadium today.
Faster than Cristiano Ronaldo, Park Ji-young, according to the infographic that's been on the big screener.
I do wonder if they're just testing the graphics and not actually the actual information there. Lee Dong-guk as Jeonbuk Hyundai, he leads the line, and Adam Taggart, the goal machine.
League tonight. And again, this is for the folks that are tuning in that may know a lot about Juventus, that may not know a lot about K-League, or the folks that just want to hear about the K-League side of things, because we're going to kind of leave the Juventus side alone. We'll talk about matchups to watch and things like that, but they're a pretty known quantity coming into this. So we're going to start at the back. We're going to start with the keepers and the defense, and then we're going to move into the midfield. We're going to talk about the strikers, and then, Paul, you've got a couple of keys to the game, things for us to watch that you wrote about in the preview. So let's get started with this. Gentlemen, who is covering the defense for us today?
Are we not signing goals?
Who needs a goalkeeper? Cho Hyun-woo's in net. And the backup is Song Bum-kun. I believe we're back with you on this
You're
one.
back with me again? Yeah, don't
right.
you go anywhere, people.
They're
just there for the eye candy at the end there.
That's why Scott's always here.
No,
Jordan Much is gone.
Well,
I'm the main attraction now.
back to the goalkeepers. Cho Hyun-woo, as mentioned, from Daegu FC. He's actually the most popular player in this 11 with 62,938 of the votes coming in. The backup is Song Bom-kun from Jeonbuk, the young 21-year-old keeper who's recently got military exemption along with Cho Hyun-woo. And an up-and-coming keeper. I'd love to see how he does as well later on. I'm sure they'll both get a bit of game time. Cho Hyun-woo, obviously, he's the poster boy for the K-League.
Yeah.
Everybody loves him at the moment. There's a lot of talk of him going to the Bundesliga, but he's still here as we speak.
Luckily for tonight.
I mean, his World Cup heroics was what spoke a lot about, and his reflexes are so fast, and I think the only criticism ever levelled at him is really his distribution.
Yeah.
But even then, I think it's such a minor gripe.
One of the reasons why it's good to have a keeper like him and Kim Sung-gil in the Korean team setup is they're both different.
Yeah.
So, in games where Korea are going to be under the cosh, he's there to make those saves. Like today, you would expect Team K-League to be under the cosh from Juventus, certainly in spells, and having him, they call him Spider Hands, having him in goal was making the kind of saves that we've seen him make many times was going to be good for the fans here as well.
When you brought this up in this week's podcast, he's saving over 50% of the shots on reflex saves that are coming his way. So just a tremendous keeper back there. Moving into the defense and checking the sound system in the background at the same time.
In the defence, well, that would be
You, wasn't
yourself, Ryan.
Oh, of course. I knew that. Anyway, the defense, we've got 4 at the back here, and we're starting on the left. We've got Park Joo-ho. This is somebody that I've liked since he came back to K-League. I think he bombs up and down that left wing really well, which is something that we see a lot in K-League. Getting those overlap runs is really important, but he also tracks back and defends really well, and he's got his work cut out for him today. Both of the wing backs have their work cut out for him today. It's just going to be a tremendous amount of work trying to keep the wingers in check for Juventus. Moving into the middle of the field, one of the center backs, a man that we see here all the time.
Yeah.
Osmar very rightfully got the call to be the center back here today. I think we've talked a lot about this covering the league this year. Just a calm, steadying presence, and has completely changed the makeup of FC Seoul this year.
Yeah.
Much calmer at the back, much steadier. Once again, I think he'll be up near the top, leading the league in interceptions, and he's going to be key today, especially because, again, this entire defense is going to have their work cut out for him. I don't think anybody's expecting them to get a clean sheet, but how awesome would it be if they did? But I think Osmar is going to be key to that. As we talked about, Yoon Young-sun is in there. Replacement player, really came onto the stage at the World Cup. Kind of a surprise call-up at the World Cup from Songnam, but has done really well since being in there. Ulsan's the best defense in the league, so not bad. When you can't get the first choice center back from Ulsan, you get the second one. You're still doing all right. And out to the right there, the man with the best hair in K-League, Superman himself, Lee Young. Another player that just bombs up and down that wing so well. Jeonbuk's attack oftentimes goes directly through him, so it's great to have that option coming up from the back with him. This is a defense that I'm really excited to see how they do today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in the matchups section when we get there. But I think all these guys are perfectly capable, and Paul, like we talked about in the podcast, I'm really excited to see what they can bring at this high of a level, because I really think that these guys do have an opportunity to shine, and it'll be great to see if they can. But
Osmar in particular, he likes to build from the back. Now, the midfield, which we'll get to, is very attack-minded. They're going to need somebody to try and bridge that gap between the back 4 and the midfield 3. So Osmar, I think, will step out at the back 4 on occasions. And I want to see what he can do against some of the world's best.
yeah, and again, I think all 4 of them are definitely going to have plenty of work ahead of them tonight, and that's before any substitutions or anything like that happen. But did we get a couple of comments in here?
Yeah, we've had a question about the weather. It's going to be a full stadium. Yes, that's correct. The weather at the moment, it's raining a little bit.
It's not bad
It
right
was
now.
Earlier it came down like some dogs, as we say in England, but it's not too bad now. Yeah.
I think one thing to touch on with the full stadium, that there has been a few tickets cancelled. It's not a lot, but there are still tickets available if you are in the Seoul area.
Oh.
There's a bit of a queue,
there's still time.
and I don't know where they are. There's not, because it's not all the same price all around.
And in spite of how early it is, there are already people in their seats here.
Yeah.
So if you are watching this and you want to get here, turn it off for now. Finish watching it later and get here, because there are already people in the stands. Just a scant 2.5 hours before kickoff.
But it is going to be a full stadium-ish. It's going to be it's one of the busiest we've seen it for a long time.
Yeah, should be a fun one. Anything else?
Just that hope Osmo has Ronnie in his back pocket from the 94th minute. Yeah, I'm sure that's what's going to happen.
Aren't we expecting that?
And some of us asking to stream the game. Well, sorry, we might get arrested for that. So sorry.
Definitely highly illegal for us to do that, but thanks for the suggestion.
Yeah. Other than that, that's it for now.
Moving up and moving on to things that we can talk about and do. Let's move into that midfield, and this is another one. Like I said, I'm very excited about the defense. I think the midfield, this is an exciting bunch.
Oh, absolutely. Cezinha, Mix Discord, and Kimbo Kyung. Mix, obviously, as you know a lot about him, he's played in Europe as well. And he was a regular for the US men's national team, and he's been a breath of fresh air in K-League for the league itself and for Ulsan as well. I'm looking forward to see what he can do, make that midfield tick like it has been doing for Ulsan.
Well, I think that this is someone, we've talked a lot about this stage of being on the international stage. I don't think he's going to be intimidated by this.
Not at all.
He's got World Cup experience. Like you say, he's played in Champions League, he's played in Europa League. He's used to these kind of matches, so I think he's good to have in there.
Yeah, and Cezinha will be looking to impress as well. He's had such a fantastic past 1.5 seasons, if you count last season and this in particular. And he might see himself as like the Team K-League Ronaldo in a sense. That mercurial forward kind of guy. And he will be looking to shoot from distance as he always does.
Correct.
And there is a lot of goals in this midfield, because if we look at the three combined, Kimbo Kyung, Cezinha, and Mix, they've got 23 goals and 10 assists between just the three of them.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what all three of those players can do.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see them, and a couple of international caliber players in there already. Scott, I'm just going to hand you this microphone instead of being over Paul the whole time. Talk about the strikers.
Sorry, Paul. Sorry about that. Sorry. No, yeah, the strikers. You really think it's going to be the Adam? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. You really think it's going to be the Adam Taggart show today? Really, don't you? I mean, the three strikers up top with. And Lee Dong-gook, we're not sure how much game time Lee Dong-gook's actually going to get. He's got swollen feet. It's painful to wear him a boot. Yeah, maybe a half, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Hey.
I'm excited.
Hey. So, I mean, Park Chu-young's had a decent season. You guys have talked about watching him. He's had a decent season for Seoul so far. His numbers look good this season, but you guys have bemoaned him on numerous occasions. That
he's contributed this season, which is what we haven't said in the past 2 or 3 years. He's got 5 assists. Fair. 5 assists, should be 6, because one of them was a corner that took a slight deflection. 5 goals, and he scored 2 of the FA Cup. So 7 goals all in all competitions, and 5 or 6 assists as well. So he's contributing.
So outside of those two, outside of Lee Dong-gook, we're looking at Adam Taggart, who is the leading goal scorer in the league at the moment, and rightly, I think, nudged out Lopez in the voting in the last few days of the voting. He should be in there. He leads the K-League not only in goals, but in goals and assists. 12 goals in the league and 1 assist with expected goals of 7.32. So he deserves his place in the team. Like I say, we don't know how far Lee Dong-gook's going to go, but there's Unilok to come off the bench. There's Ede, who's had a very good season for Songnam and probably deserves a few minutes in the game. So yeah, hopefully looking for some goals from Team K-League. I think I would fancy Team K-League strikers more than I would the Juventus strikers. They're coming off the back of a pretty long journey through Asia on their Asian tour. They've flown in this morning. I think the K-League, especially the K-League attackers, are going to have something to prove. And that Lee Dong-gook, we don't know how long he's going to stay on the pitch, but Lee Dong-gook connection could actually work out quite well. Taggart running in behind, getting passes from Mix Discord. We've talked about Mix Discord's vision and passing range. So yeah, I think the K-League attackers could have a better night than the Juventus attackers tonight.
There's a comment come in. It's a good point, because Cezinha does a very similar celebration to Ronaldo.
Oh yeah.
Someone just said that on the YouTube comments. So that's a very good point. Who will do that first?
Yeah. Or maybe they'll do it at the same time.
Hey.
Buddy up. Then you know who's getting each other's kit. Scott, you brought up the strikers, and we'll get into the matchup and the things to watch here, because there was some interesting stuff in the preview, but I want to put all you guys on the spot real quick. Who's going to score for the K-League tonight? Not is K-League going to score, but who do you think is going to get a goal?
Kimbo Kyung.
Okay.
From midfield. Great player, having a fantastic season for Ulsan. Was unbelievable for John Buck a few seasons ago. Player who I highly, highly rate, and I think coming from midfield, he could score a few goals.
They are susceptible to things from around half field at Juventus, from what we've seen in this Asian tournament. Definitely something to depend on. Paul, who do you think is going to get a goal today?
Cezinha. from outside the box, from about 25 yards, top corner, top bin, Matthew.
And speaking of bins, who do you think's getting a goal today?
I want to say both of those two. I'd quite like to see Cecina score, but I think Scott makes a very good point about Kim Bo-kyung. I think Kim Bo-kyung kind of lives up to these big occasions, and he could do well here.
I don't know if it's because we're staring at an FC Seoul poster in the background, but I'm going to go ahead and say Osmar gets on the score sheet today.
Park Ji-young corner.
A Park Ji-young corner to Osmar.
Yeah.
But I think set pieces are always key when you're the underdog, and I think they're not. It's going to be a pretty loose game, I would imagine. I don't think they're going to be a lot of calls, but there'll be some corners here and there, and I think wouldn't it be fun to have a defender get in there and get on the score sheet today? So that's what I'm going to go with in my heart. What I hope happens. You know, it's going to be Lee Dong-guk though. We all know it's going to be Lee Dong-guk.
Well, the Lion King house has come out again, so it's perfect timing.
Yeah. And also the movie's out. So.
Well, there you go.
Anyway, let's get into some of the things that you highlighted in the match preview. Some of the things that we should be keying in on today, and there was one matchup in particular that you pegged that I think is going to be interesting today.
I just think the Choi Hyun-woo in goal against Ronaldo, that battle, if you will, is going to be a good thing to watch because, Ronaldo has scored countless amount of goals over his career, and he's the same when he moved from Real Madrid to Juventus. And also, as I talked about earlier, Choi Hyun-woo's one of the best at what he does in that regard in shots stopping, and he will be looking to impress because he wants to push that move to Europe through. We're grateful that he's still here.
Yes.
But like I said to you, Ryan, when we did the Facebook Live show earlier in the week, if he has a good performance, Daegu FC might be saying, well, about the price tag we talked about.
Correct.
You've just seen what he's done against Ronaldo and co.
Yeah.
Let's talk about figures again. So that those two in particular, but all over the park, there's going to be interesting battles.
Yeah. Matt, is there anything in particular that you're keying in on? What's the one thing that you're going to watch personally tonight?
I think I'm just going to enjoy the match, which sounds really phasing, but because it's a bit of a mix and match team. I don't really know what aspects we should be looking for. I don't know what kind of chemistry. I know what Jose Moraes likes to play from his time at Jeonbuk. I think we are going to see a lot of balls channeled down the right to Lee Young, and Park Chu-ho will possibly be reflecting that down there. So I hope we don't become too reliant on the wings, but I think that's going to be key to the K-League tonight.
Yeah. Scott, what are you looking for?
I think the centre of midfield is going to be interesting. You guys talked about in the live show on Monday, there's a complete imbalance in that midfield. There's no holding midfielder. There's a lot of creativity and there's a lot of attack-minded players in the centre of midfield, so it'd be fun to watch. I think if Team K-League can get on the ball and play, I think that could be fun to watch.
Yeah. If Jurgen Klinsmann was here, he'd just put Mix as a holding mid because that's the kind of stuff that he does. I'm not going to go on about that, though. Don't worry.
We're still talking about whether Jose Moraes is going to ruin Ulsan's season by playing Mix Discarud as centre-back, play them all completely out of position, play them for 120-odd minutes, maybe ruin their entire season.
Let's hope not. This from a Barnsley fan, by the way. We should preface that in there.
Whatsoever, is there?
None at all. But the players are going to be arriving soon, so we're going to get down and try to greet them on their way in and say hello.
We're going to get to Lee Dong-guk and all the others.
But we always do this for our match previews, even though this is clearly a friendly. Let's go ahead and let's throw out a score prediction, because why not? Why not?
Okay.
Matt, what do you got?
1-1.
Oh, I mean, I'd take that 10 times out of 10. I'm going to skip myself and come back.
4-2 to Juventus.
There we're talking. That's what you get.
Look at that, I'm going 5-4 K-League.
Hey! Let's hope so.
If that is the game, that's the
17-0. No, I think 3-1 Juve is probably going to get it today. No, 3-1 K-League.
Yeah! How many do you have?
Get it. Coffees? A few. Anyway, we're going to get out of here for now. We will try to come back as soon as we can post-game, but when this stadium's full, it's pretty difficult to get some interwebs. So if you have any questions, comments, or reactions to the match, get those in the comments below, and we will also be on Twitter live tweeting the match as it happens. So for now, we're going to get out of here, and I'm going to just come greet you a little bit closer. Thanks for watching.